Hi guys, Bill again. There's an interesting article in The Guardian at the start of the month. There's a link below if you didn't get to see it. One of their commentators has finally come out and said it. Men should be paid less than women. Her rationale is that men already earn so much that it's the only way to achieve equality. Apparently, according to her, women are incapable of catching up by themselves. Okay, so it's a common enough thread with feminist writers and commentators. Women earn less, so we should disadvantage men or advantage women, or both, to ensure equality of outcome. Trouble with this kind of thinking is threefold. The first thing is that it ignores the root cause of any wage inequality, any kind of gap. Jumping to a solution without first investigating the problem is very unlikely to succeed. Imagine if your car was running a bit rough. Your college educated friends all tell you that petrol engines run rough, but the Swedish drive Volvos, and they're powered by diesel engines and they all run silky smooth. So you get to thinking, if only we could be a bit more like the Swedish. Next thing you know, you're taking a hacksaw to your engine mounts, you're trying to shoehorn a new 1.4 turbo diesel into your F-150. Now it's kind of extreme, but never underestimate the power of peer or consumer pressure. I know I'm up it. Oh my god, I know I'm up it. There's no other way to describe him. This guy once put about 20 grand's worth of engine and suspension mods into his bike, only to find that he had a dog-slow pile of shite that tried to spit him off at every corner. See, the trouble was that the shiny new magnesium wheels that he was so proud of, I think they were Marchesini's, but it might have been Dymags, they were porous. And that's to say that they leak air a shitload faster than regular bike wheels. Now this guy was a bit of a weekend warrior. Yeah, he didn't ride during the week, he certainly didn't commute on his bike. So he didn't notice that the tyres were losing air until the next time he threw a chubby wee leg over the beastie and then wobbled round to his mate's house to whine about how crap his new ride was. He'd taken a perfectly acceptable production bike and he'd utterly ruined it with absolutely no clue how to use or maintain the new vehicle. Now you can see how taking a similar approach to social engineering is working out for us. That brings us to the second major problem. Feminists have always claimed there's a wage gap. They use the claim to effect enormous changes in our working and social environments, but none of the solutions have had any effect at all on the perceived gap. Now once you know what causes the disparity in male and female lifetime earnings, you won't be at all surprised by the failure of their solutions. But that doesn't help our society. We're suffering widespread cultural vandalism aimed squarely at disadvantaging boys and men, and it's all in the name of equality. I mean, some of their claims and solutions. Women are less educated. Let's change that. Well, okay, we have. We've changed it so much now that educational outcomes are markedly better for women at all stages in education, and the educational environment is so highly feminised it's arguably hostile to boys and men. But the wage gap remains. Unskilled, predominantly female occupied jobs earn less than semi-skilled, predominantly male occupied jobs. So we changed that too. Smashing. Seamstresses earn as much as engineers these days, and dinner ladies earn as much as dustmen. Funny old thing, the pay gap's still there. They went to the other end of the chain, decided that there are too many male leaders and managers, so let's have quotas, let's favour female candidates, and let's level imputations of malice on anyone pointing out the outrageous sexism inherent on promoting somebody based purely on the fact that they belong to the largest demographic on earth. According to the feminists, in spite of all of this, the pay gap is actually increasing. Now, I could go on, but hopefully that's enough for now. If you're a feminist, please pay attention to this next part. I know it's mansplaining, but it is important. The pay gap is created by mining statistics. Consider two individuals with exactly the same opportunities, making exactly the same career choices. Their earnings are going to be exactly the same. However, if one of these individuals makes choices that are not optimal for their career progression, then that person is going to earn less. If that person retires earlier, for instance, or that person takes extended career breaks, it's going to show as a lifetime earnings gap. Now, you can put it another way. If you want to earn the same as a man, do not get pregnant. It will show as a pay gap. Do put your career and your earnings above your own personal well-being, and do work beyond your legally guaranteed retirement age. Now, that might sound a bit unfair, so you could try another approach. Give men equal paternity leave. Work hard at encouraging our entire society to see value in men taking on other roles. House husband, for instance. A good start would be to ban deadbeat dad when you're finished with banning bossy. You could lower the male retirement age. You could actually encourage men to seek medical attention and advice when they fall ill, instead of shaming them with shite like fucking man flu, and make education more attractive to males. They'll stay in education longer. They'll earn less over the course of their lifetime, and it will free up jobs for females while they complete their education. Yeah, come on, girls. Feminism's all about equality, right? You see, a third problem with the suggestion is the most important one. Like most feminist ideas, it just won't work. More than that, it's going to create huge new social injustices while still failing to address the core issue. Consider what she's actually proposing. She wants to drop the established and senior males' wages to the level of fresh and junior females. Well done. You've just taken a decent bite out of the earnings of individuals who sacrifice their home life to get those earnings. Money that at the moment, that currently is being given to and spent by their largely female partners. What a great way to address injustice. What a great score for equality. Not. If she was successful, if this idea takes off, what do you think would happen next? Now, I've got a couple of predictions. The first one I've got is that males are likely to get thoroughly disenchanted with career work. If there's no cash reward for working late, for taking the long distance commute, or for chasing promotion, then the vast majority of men won't do any of those things. Now, you might think that's a great opportunity for women, but no. She's proposing slashing the male wages bill. Now, no employer is stupid enough to pay a woman whose established or senior wage is going to be larger than her male counterparts. It's a lose-lose situation. Career women are going to find the rug pulled from under them. For the first time in 2 generations, their chances of promotion are going to be handicapped in favour of males. The male's promotion will simply be more cost effective. And at the same time, the males are also going to be losing out. They'll get all the stresses and responsibility inherent in taking the promotion, with no accompanying financial reward. Now, if this kind of gross stupidity ever makes it into legislation, and let's face it, it'd be entirely in line with the kind of absurd, poorly thought out, and downright sexist crap that feminists have inflicted on our society for decades, then we're going to see more men in positions of responsibility and authority. Get back into the statistics and it would be very easy to demonstrate an increased wage gap as a result of this. Sure, individually men are going to be earning less, but you can adjust for that if the group at the top of the earnings pile are largely male. Now, if it's such a shit idea, we can just forget about it, right? No, we really shouldn't. The thing is, we forgot about a lot of stuff over the last 50 years. If you'd said to people 50 years ago that we were embarking on a programme to feminise the education system to the extent that women were guaranteed better results than their male counterparts at every stage of the process, do you think anyone would have believed you? And when we first enacted equal pay legislation, do you think anybody considered the possibility of a £757 million lawsuit, and growing, because dinner ladies and school cleaners carrying out light physical work in a safe indoor environment were paid less than bin men carrying out arduous physical labour in a dangerous outdoor environment? Check out the link below. The unbelievable greed and the entitlement of a mob of lazy fuckers who never once considered taking on the dirty, dangerous outdoor job that paid better is about to cost Birmingham City Council its property assets. It's already cost 1,000 job losses, and the irony of this is almost painful. They're getting to the stage where they're not able to afford to continue collecting refuse if they make the payouts they've proposed. Look, do you think it's reasonable to guarantee 50% female representation in management committee positions in a field where just 20% of the available candidates are female? That's what's happening in the STEM fields right now. Now, if you think that that 20% figure, there's only 20% women in it, is evidence of sexism, you might actually be right, but probably not in the way you're thinking. There's another link below. It turns out that while women applying for STEM positions are a fairly low number, about 1 in 5 funnily enough, the number that were given interviews for those positions is high, and the number actually finding employment after those interviews is correspondingly high. Makes sense. Now, there may well be reasons for that beyond gender, but the notion that women are being disadvantaged in the STEM fields is just plain wrong. On the contrary, that study actually discovered that the reverse is true. Women have an impressive advantage in the STEM fields. Not enough to guarantee 50% representation, but hey-oh. Look, ladies, don't listen to the feminists. Now is a great time to get into the STEM fields. Not only are your chances of success is high, you'll get to work with people like the great Dr. Matt Taylor. Now, how many jobs do you know where the boss gets inked with the latest project and actually turns up to a press conference in a Hawaiian shirt and shorts to show the tat off? Sounds like a pretty sweet deal. Now, of course, if the Harridans and their white knight and male chums have anything to do with it, characters like Matt are going to be shamed into being grey-suited PC obscurites. Like it's any other damn business how people in a field who are too thick or lazy to enter into themselves decide how to conduct themselves. People, we have got to point out how ridiculous these gender activists, social justice warrior cretins actually are. Modern feminism is pushing us further and further away from gender equality. It's not achieving its stated aims. It's done a great job of creating new social injustices, vandalising some of the most successful pillars of our civilization, and there's only so far down that road we can go and still have a viable society at the end of it. When someone claims that their ideology is all about equality and then advocates for inflicting inequality as the best way to achieve it, you're going to have to consider whether they're being honest or realistic about their stated aims. Laters, guys.